It is the most wonderful time of the year. It's Super Bowl week. Although the Bills aren't playing in it, it is fun because we can finally party and watch the Super Bowl. Pooch and Reed podcast, your number one spot for your Super Bowl coverage. He's Braden Reed. I'm Joe Puccio. Braden, how pumped are you for this weekend?
I am jazzed up, Joe. You said it well. The two most wonderful times of the year, Christmas time and Super Bowl week. And I am so excited for this game. Eagles were god awful this year, but there's some good football going on this Sunday. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I think these are the two best teams in football that we are seeing, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today, what we're simply going to do is just preview this game. We'll give you our X factors, some keys to victory, and we'll even have a little bit of fun at the end of the show talking about some of the prop bets. So, without further ado, let's talk about Super Bowl LV.
All right, so getting right into it, we'll preview both of these teams. Obviously, Kansas City out of the AFC and Tampa Bay out of the NFC. Probably the two most talented teams from each conference. They both showed out through the playoffs and made it to the Super Bowl. But we'll start with Kansas City. And I think this is a team that a lot of people forgot about this season. And I know that's tough to say because they probably have the best offense in football. And Patrick Mahomes, one of the best players. Everyone's talking about him. But it just didn't feel like they had the hype that they normally have this season. Throughout the regular season, they were 14-1 heading into week 17 where Chad Henne started. So they ended up 14-2, but they had such an incredible season. And heading into the AFC Championship game last year, Joe, I know no disrespect to your Bills, but it kind of seems like everyone just got too cute with their picks. Started saying, oh, Buffalo could pull this off, and almost seemed to forget about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all those guys. And I think they proved that they're the best team in football last season. So first in passing offense, that's no surprise. Patrick Mahomes, probably the best player in football right now. 11th in rushing offense, 13 in passing defense. And their defense is an underrated part of their team than I think. Tyrann Mathieu, one of the better safeties in football. I am a huge Bashaud Breeland fan at cornerback. I think he's criminally underrated as well. So obviously their offense is great. Everyone loves their offense, but I'm a huge fan of their defense as well. So yeah, I'll turn it over to you, Joe. What do you think about this Kansas City team?
Yeah, I can't really name a better football team over the last decade. Like I can't think of a Patriot team that was better than this. Like maybe the 2015 Panthers with Cam
Yeah.
Newton, but even that, like Cam Newton was good, but he wasn't Patrick Mahomes. Like Mahomes is a completely different animal, and when you pair him up with Tyreek Hill, you have Travis Kelce at your tight end, Watkins and Hardman also on the outside. It's like I I did not know how Buffalo was going to win that game. As you said, people sort of forgot about Kansas City because they were so hung up on the story of Buffalo, and Kansas City just ran through the Bills like it was nothing. And they showed how great that they truly are because what Kansas City does so well is they know how to gain about 6 or 7 yards each play. You will rarely see them go two plays in a row where they only get 2 yards. There's an incompletion and they're unable to get the first down. There are not many teams that are able to stop Kansas City. And let's go back to those two losses in the regular season. Vegas, I think, hung more than 35 points on the Chiefs, and the Chargers were going up against a Chiefs team that was led by Chad Henne, and the Chiefs still were able to score touchdowns. So there is no stopping this Kansas City offense. And we mentioned first in passing offense, 11th in rushing offense. And the only reason they're 11th is because you don't really need to run the ball when you have Patty Mahomes slinging it. So Kansas City, they are the best team in the league. They will be the best team in the league for years. I think until Mahomes' contract starts really kicking in, then we might see some other teams in the AFC start taking him over. But there is not a true weak point for this team. We do talk about their defense being the weakest part of their team, but they are still are a middle of the pack defense. They are very strong, and they have big time playmakers like Chris Jones on the defensive line. So KC, they are. There's not much else you can say, really. I mean, they are the best team in football, but there is an entirely other side to this equation. Tampa Bay is red hot as well. This is the second Super Bowl appearance for the Bucks in franchise history. They won Super Bowl. Hold on, let me do the Roman numerals here. 37 back in 2002. Yeah, 37. Yep. Yeah, 37. And that's when they were led by John Gruden, and Tom Brady was not their quarterback. So this is a complete. This is a new Tampa Bay team. I can. I don't know if I can say. I don't. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody's toes by saying this, but we really grew up where, like, in a NFL where Tampa Bay was never in the equation. All of a sudden this year, they get the head coach they need, they get the quarterback they need, and they are in the the Super Bowl. Now, they went 11-5 this year, but don't let that regular season record fool you. It is a good record, but this team turned it up another notch in the second half of the year. I said this earlier in the season. I never thought Tampa Bay was going to be a contender because they didn't have an identity. The first half of the season was primarily dominated by Bruce Arians, and Bruce Arians wanted his game plan done. In the second half of the season, they realized they have the greatest quarterback who has ever existed in Tom Brady, and he has sort of kicked the tires and gotten this team to where they should be, which is in the Super Bowl. They lost the division to New Orleans, but they avenged that division title loss in the divisional round after beating Washington in the wild card. And then they go to Lambeau to take on Aaron Rodgers, who a lot of people said were going to win the Super Bowl this year. They beat them at the frozen tundra. Tampa Bay is just, it's really tough to explain Tampa because, yes, they have great players on the outside, but that does not happen without Tom Brady. Fourth in passing offense, 4,776 passing yards this year and 42 touchdowns, 27th in rushing offense. That just shows you how great Tom Brady is. And, this team is going to win with Tom Brady doing well, and they're going to lose with Tom Brady doing poorly. But Braden, the other side of the ball for Tampa Bay, I would say is significantly better than Kansas City's.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think this defense kind of gets overshadowed by Tom Brady being on the other side of the football, but they're just as fantastic. That defensive line is incredible. Number one against the rush this season. Guys like Shat Barrett coming off the edge, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh, who is on the tail end of his career, but still producing. And 11th in passing defense. They've got a lot of guys playing well. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Carlton Davis. I know Antoine Winfield has been out, but he was there for the regular season, and they're underrated. They definitely play well. They've played well this postseason, and given Brady room to make those mistakes. He threw 3 picks in the NFC Championship game last week or 2 weeks ago, almost at this point against Green Bay, and they kind of kept them around. They stopped Aaron Rodgers, the likely MVP. So in those games when Tom Brady isn't firing on all cylinders, it's rare, but it does happen. This defense can step up and hold the line for him.
Let's get into our X factors here. I will start with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the first time I thought of doing the X factor, I was like, it's probably Tyreek Hill. But that's fantastic insight. The sky's also blue. So for my X factors for the Kansas City Chiefs on offense, I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, again, that might be like duh. But here's the thing. I thought that Buffalo would win last week in Kansas City if Clyde Edwards-Helaire was out. If they were strictly a passing team, I really thought that Buffalo might have had a chance at winning the football game. But because they were able to run the ball and get their play action going, Buffalo really didn't stand a chance. If Kansas City can do the same thing they did against Buffalo, where you run the ball sometimes to set up your play action and get those deep shots for Mahomes, the Chiefs are going to be impossible to stop. They already are impossible to stop, but this just adds an entirely new layer. Now, Tampa Bay's rushing defense was the best in the National Football League this year. So Clyde might not get a whole ton of touches. He might not get a total. He might not get a lot of yards, but he will get a lot of touches. So he will be the X factor for Kansas City on offense if they are able to properly utilize Clyde Edwards-Helaire just to be able to set up the play action. I think it's going to open up Kansas City's offense, and it's going to allow them to continuously open up the playbook like they do every single week. Now, on defense, I'm going to go with Bashaud Breeland. You mentioned that you're a huge Bashaud Breeland fan, but the thing with, you know what? No, I'm changing it. I'm changing it right now.
On the fly, an audible.
Yes, I'm calling an audible, and it's going to sound like a no-brainer, but I'm going to go with Chris Jones because it's going to lead in to my Chiefs' keys to victory. If Chris Jones is able to get pressure on Tom Brady, it's going to change Tampa Bay's offense for the entirety of this game. I sincerely think Tom Brady will be able to play until he is like 50, and we'll get into that conversation later. But it is because Tom is never pressured. That offensive line's fantastic, but there is nobody getting pressure on Tom Brady. If Chris Jones can just get a hand up, if he can, obviously don't rough the passer, force an injury, but if you can just get up in his kitchen and really cause some havoc, Kansas City's defense will be able to get Tom Brady off the field. And then that comes with the clock management for Kansas City. And then the offense opens up and the game plan will work perfectly. Bashaud Breeland's a great player, but I think that Chris Jones will be the X factor on defense for sure. Braden, I'll go to you for Kansas City's X factors, and then I'll have you introduce your Tampa X factors.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with you on the Chiefs' run game. I know it's not too exciting, but that's the point that I had coming into this one. Like you said, this passing offense of the Chiefs, everyone knows about it. It's incredible. 99% of the time, it's firing on all cylinders. But if some miracle it's not, and that Tampa Bay secondary really shows up, they're going to need to rely on that run game to open up the pass playbook. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Le'Veon Bell, they're need to be able to generate 4, 5, 6 yard gains. So Tampa Bay kind of sits back and Kansas City can throw the ball. If by some miracle Tampa Bay shuts down the pass defense, they're going to have to lean on it and they need to show up. For the Buccaneers, this one's going to sound stupid. You're going to be like, Braden, shut up. This is so obvious, but it's Tom Brady. Let me explain. He hasn't performed particularly well. And by particularly well, I mean up to Tom Brady standards for these playoffs. He played well against Washington football team, not a great football team. He hasn't completed more than 55% of his passes in a game this playoffs. He threw 3 picks last week against Green Bay. He almost cost them that game if their defense didn't keep them in it. So if that's the Tom Brady we see, this is going to be a blowout. This could be a three possession game. I don't fully expect it to be that way. I think Tom Brady's still Tom Brady, and he'll play super well in this Super Bowl. But if he doesn't show up, if he has kind of those crappy games, if he even doesn't complete 60% of his passes, this game can get away from Tampa Bay really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I really have no explanation. I mean, like it's Tom Brady. Like you'd be like, all right, this dude he's going to play well. But you do make a good point. He had 3 picks against Green Bay. And if Green Bay was a little more aggressive offensively, this would be a Kansas City Green Bay Super Bowl. So you make a good point. I will say, I won't tell you to shut up, but it's not like I don't agree with you.
No, listen, it's a completely arguable point. I just think Tom Brady needs to have one of his better Super Bowls in order to win this game. The Chiefs are going to put up points.
If you're in court making that argument, I would listen to you and be like, all right, this dude did his homework. But my X factors for Tampa Bay on offense, Antonio Brown. You need one of these guys. Now, Antonio Brown is just a filler word here because this could be Mike Evans, this could be Gronk, this could be Chris Godwin. One of these guys on the outside needs to make that big time play. You need a Julian Edelman catch. You need a helmet catch from who was that? David Tyree?
David Tyree.
Wow, surprised I got that. But you need one of those guys to make a big time play. And out of all those guys, I think Antonio Brown is the most talented passing target out of all of them. Obviously he has had a lot of issues in the past, and if we're having this podcast in 2018, I think we'd have a field day talking about Antonio Brown. But the Antonio Brown we see here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a guy that just trusts Tom Brady. And Brady knows if Antonio Brown is open, the football is going to him. You can say the same thing about Gronk, but I really think that Brady wants to get the ball to AB as soon as possible and as quickly as possible. If Antonio Brown can have a stellar game, eliminate drops, make a big time catch, aggressive catches, you're going to be going up against Breland and Matthew, I think, for the entirety of this game. One of those guys, like Antonio Brown, is going to need to step up and make a big time play. Defensively, I'm sticking with the defensive line, just like I did with Chris Jones, but Jason Pierre-Paul, I think that if JPP can step up and make a huge difference, Patty Mahomes is a guy that you don't want him going out of the pocket. When he goes out of the pocket, normally, like if a quarterback goes out of the pocket, you think, oh, the play's dead, right? He's not going to be able to throw the ball and make an accurate throw. It's the complete opposite with Mahomes. Mahomes loves being out of the pocket. He hates being stuck in the pocket. If Jason Pierre-Paul can not only get pressure from the inside, but he is obviously that defensive line captain and is the veteran on that defensive line. If he can motivate his ends to start doing some things and containing Mahomes, you're going to limit that playbook being opened up. You're going to limit if I can use a Madden term here, a user playmaker on guys like Kelsey, on guys like Watkins. Just someone's open, I'm just going to chuck it. So, I think that if Jason Pierre-Paul can lead this defense, then the Kansas City will have a tough time moving the ball offensively, and Tom Brady will have the ball on the field for a longer time. So it's those underrated players. If they can just make 1 or 2 big-time plays, it could make the entire difference in this Super Bowl.
Yeah,
let's talk about keys.
Quick point right here.
Yes.
I think I really agree with the JPP X Factor. I think if that guy shows up and has an explosive game, get it? Finger joke, blow off his fingers. No. All right, I'll be here all week.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I just wanted to fit that in. We can move on.
Let's go to keys to victory here. Braden's getting canceled. Chiefs. Look, Kansas City, we've kind of mentioned this with our X factors here. The explosive defense for Kansas City. You need to pressure Tom, right? You simply need to pressure Tom. He has rarely been touched, I think, in his career. I mean, I've watched this dude just dice up the Bills in New England for all but 1 year of my life, and the Bills have never been able to get pressure on him. Nobody is able to get pressure on him. So it's a tall order for the Chiefs defense. But if you want to win the Super Bowl, you need to have Pat Mahomes on the field for as long as possible. That is getting Tom Brady on his tuchus, trying to get some pressure on him. And the thing is, Tom Brady threw 2 picks in week 12 against Kansas City. That was because the Chiefs were mixing up defensive looks, using disguises. I think that if Kansas City can do that exact same thing, obviously it's going to work, but you have to imagine Tom Brady's preparing for like all these different defensive looks. I bet he's watched the week 12 tape about 10 times already. So I think that Kansas City is going to need to confuse him even more. Maybe Brady's overthinking and you have to underthink. Maybe the Chiefs are overthinking that Brady is overthinking, if that makes any sense. But Kansas City's defense needs to put pressure on Tom, and they need to disguise their defensive formation. And for Tampa Bay, it's forcing turnovers. If Kansas City needs to get Brady, if Kansas City needs to get Brady off the field, Tampa needs to get Mahomes off the field. Whoever's offense has the ball for longer is going to win the Super Bowl. That is just a fact. And that means whoever's defense shows up is going to be able to win the Super Bowl. And one thing that I will say negatively about Kansas City is that they get a little too fancy. They are your varsity basketball team that it knows that they're going up against the weaker opponent, and they're doing pick and rolls, and they are doing the no-look passes behind the back. They're doing everything, putting on a show for the crowd. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. Can you please tell me how the frick the play with Mahomes rolling out to the right, and it's just a shovel pass. It's just a boom right to Kelsey of all. Like,
yeah,
Tampa Bay needs to say stop with that, because Kansas City is going to do that fancy stuff in the Super Bowl. So if you can get those turnovers, right, you shut down Kansas City's never-ending playbook. That thing is short. That thing is concise. They're going to look back at the script. They're not going to have McCole Hardman chuck the ball between his legs to Watkins, and then Watkins punts it back to Mahomes, and then Mahomes runs it in for a touchdown. Just you need to make this Kansas City Chiefs offense simple so that they don't go berserk and they don't put 35 plus on it. It's a tall order, but I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I would agree with both of those points. And to my Kansas City one, I'm kind of gonna continue off on what you said. You're gonna have to force and capitalize on those Tampa Bay turnovers. Tom Brady threw double-digit interceptions this regular season, which is unheard of for him. It might be a product of the Tampa Bay system, but he threw double-digit picks, 2 in the Week 12 loss versus Kansas City, like you said, and then 3 against Green Bay. I think if you start to force those turnovers, they're going to come in droves, and I fully expect the Kansas City offense to take advantage of them, but they absolutely need to. Again, it's going to come down to defense for this game, it feels like, and if Tom Brady throws the ball right to Bashaud Breeland or Leonard Fournette puts one on the ground, the Chiefs need to scoop it up and get some points on the board in result of it. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I add a shot here? Tom Brady has ruined my team's entire 2000s existence, so I'm throwing in this shot. I hope Brady throws 5 picks. I hope that he goes back to that bench and starts crying. Like, I know the NFL probably wants that to happen, right? Fans just don't want Brady to win, but this is more personal for the AFC East. If you're a Jets fan, if you're a Dolphins fan, if you're a loyal member of Bills Mafia behind me. There we go. Nailed it. This Super Bowl is a little more personal because Brady, the 6 rings in New England suck, but the fact that now he took Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, dude, just stop. We're done now. So I hope that he has a terrible football game. Braden, continue.
Oh, I do as well. I think when the Eagles lost to the Patriots in 2004, that sucked. I haven't heard the end of it. Going to school in New England for 6 years, so I've heard my fair share. I get it. But the key to the game for Tampa Bay is don't let that Kansas City offense, I guess, get away from you, is the way that I would put it. I think the start of the game against Buffalo, the Buffalo defense kind of took away those big plays, and then they started to happen. They started to happen, and Buffalo got a little frazzled. They didn't keep doing
Yep.
what they had been doing. They're like, we need to stop these. We need to change something. They didn't need to change anything. They just need to keep doing what they're doing. It's going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football. Huge plays are going to happen. You have to take that and roll with it. Stick to your game plan. Stick to what you're doing. It's going to work. You just need to not get, how do I put it? Not get out of your comfort zone, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, you know, Andy Reid is such a mastermind that that's like the one question. I know I said like overthinking the overthinking. Like, do you think coaches think about that? I know I just threw a SpaghettiOs sentence at you, but like, do you think that Andy Reid's like, okay, well, the Bucs are probably thinking that we're gonna do all these disguises, but now we're not gonna do that. And then on offense, they think that we're gonna, have a circus as one of our plays, but then we're not. Like, do you think that happens?
It's like a chicken and an egg kind of thing. Like, which comes first? Do you think Andy Reid just keeps it simple, or he dials some ridiculous thing up? I'm sure he's going to do both. Tampa Bay is just going to be flying by the seat of their pants, but who knows? I guess we'll see.
I know. This is going to be such a fun Super Bowl. We're not even done with our preview yet. So,
I know. Biggest
storylines. There is a clear number one storyline here. We can even debate this if you want. Passing of the baton. Is Mahomes the next GOAT?
I think so. I mean, it's a lot is going to have to happen within his career, within this huge contract extension he signed this offseason. A lot is going to happen. He's going to have to win a lot of games, win a lot of rings, but the talent is absolutely there. If Kansas City continues to draft well, get cheap, talented players around him, I think he absolutely could do it. I know my Patriots buddies are going to kill me for that, but I think it could happen. It's going to take a lot, but it doesn't happen if he doesn't win this game. And I'm sure that was something that you were going to say. And I think it was a Tony Romo quote. He said, Mahomes is never going to be able to pass Brady unless he does this. And jump over to the NBA for a second. Jordan and LeBron never played each other.
Right.
That's the whole debate. Who's the GOAT there? Well, they never played each other. If Mahomes can pull off this win or he doesn't, we're going to have something directly to point to if it comes to this down the line. We're going to have a direct game to point to say Mahomes beat Brady. If they're even a little bit close, we're going to have this game to point to and say this is why he's the GOAT.
If you're not even interested in football, this Super Bowl is just a monumental moment in American history. So you need to watch this because, as Braden said, Jordan and LeBron never played each other. So like this is the that's a loaded sentence, but I honestly think that this is the closest thing we will see to Jordan and LeBron. Like Gretzky never, like the 85 Oilers never took on Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and all these guys. Like this is it. This is what we're looking for. So just watch this game. Even if you hate football, just watch it. If you hate football, I don't even know why you're at this point in the video.
Yeah, why are you here in the first place? But we're happy to have you.
Yeah, of course. Subscribe if you want. Follow us on Twitter at Pooch and Reed Pod. Anyways, but I think that Mahomes could be the next GOAT. Obviously, I want to say that Allen's going to be the next GOAT, but like Mahomes is completely different. It's like fandom aside, it's like Mahomes is unstoppable. And the thing with Brady is that he is also unstoppable. But the thing with Brady is, I think Mahomes is a better athlete than Brady ever was. And Mahomes is still an elite quarterback, just like Mahomes can do everything Brady can do. He can read defenses. The playbook is opened up for him now. It's like there is a really good chance he could be the next GOAT. I know, 6 rings is tough. And I think that, if we go back to the 2018 AFC title game, I think it was, if there's no offside penalty there, Mahomes could be going for a 3-peat right now. And that would be like, okay, yeah, he's definitely the next GOAT. So like, I think that if as Tony Romo said, if Mahomes is able to win this game against Brady, that conversation can seriously be kicked into gear. But even if he loses, I think that you can still have that conversation. Like it just be one game and there's more than just the quarterback. So, ask us 5 years from now. Brady will obviously still be playing, but just ask us from now.
That's true. And I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like we don't have, I made the point already, but we don't have like another sport, another GOAT conversation. There's nothing this concrete to point to. Mahomes could go on to win 7, but Brady fanatics are just going to say, oh, well, Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. Brady's obviously the GOAT. Mahomes could win 10. New England fans are insufferable. Tom Brady fans are insufferable. They're just going to keep pointing to this, but this is Mahomes' biggest game of his career up until this point, and it probably will be the biggest game of his career, even though he's only 3 years in. You have to beat the GOAT to become the GOAT, and you have an opportunity to do it on Sunday.
Goodbye, New England friends. Thank you for tuning into this video, but we didn't want you here anyways. Tom Brady stinks. But let's talk about Brady. So we talked about passing of the baton, but the holding of said baton. Can Brady play until he's like 1,000 years old? Like, what the hell is going on?
At this
here?
point, he very well could. I don't know what the hell his trainers are putting into his body. I don't know what the hell is in that avocado ice cream that he's eating.
What's Giselle whipping up in that kitchen?
Right?
That's the one
he's been going to the Fountain of Youth for 10 years at this point. Who knows? He said something about this week until playing past his mid-40s. Maybe he makes it to 50. Time will tell. Father Time is undefeated, but Brady's giving him a run for his money right now.
Yeah, and I'll give you a legit reason why I think that he can play at least until he's like 48, like maybe even 50. He has never had a bad offensive line. Shout out Ali Marpet, Hobart College, upstate New York. He's one of the best guards in the NFL. He was a third-round pick years ago when ESPN had their old draft graphics, I think. So he is going to be protected. And if Bruce Arians is smart, which he is, they're going to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Brady's obviously going to take pay cuts, and they're going to continue to get weapons on the outside. One thing that I found really interesting, I watched the Pat McAfee show for the brand, and they showed a clip of Danny Amendola talking about the Patriot way. And what he was saying was when he went to Detroit, when he went to Miami, two head coaches from the Belichick tree, they both wanted to implement the Patriot way. And they asked Danny Amendola, how do you do it? And he goes, there is no Patriot way. It's Tom Brady. Like there is no, it's not like you're held to a higher standard. It's like, no, Brady gets on your case if you're not working hard. Same thing Peyton Manning did. And if you want to win, Brady's going to keep you alongside you. Like he's just a fierce competitor and he's a great quarterback. There is no Patriot way. It's Tom Brady. So Brady can play if he's still throwing he's throwing the ball like he's 25. Like the ball looks good coming out of his hand. He's going off his back foot strong. Like Brady can play until he decides he wants to retire. And like, when he retires, I think he'll still be good as an athlete. Like he'll still be at the top of his playing level. Like I want Brady. I've wanted Brady to retire forever. Now that he's in the NFC, I don't really care when he retires. It's just going to be a fun storyline to watch. But like this brother can play until he's like in his 50s easily.
Yeah, it kills me to say it, but the dude is such a competitor. He's obviously so talented, but he's got that competitive edge that we hear a lot about. But it's so evident with him. I saw a story this week that guys were crying in the locker room at the NFC Championship game, and he goes, "What the hell are you crying for? We're not done. We've got another game to win." And like, right. Jesus Christ, dude, take a load off. But at the same time, it's like he's forcing everyone around him to stay focused, keep getting better. And as much as I hate the guy, I respect him, and I respect that attitude.
Yeah, I will say that. I hate Tom Brady, but I mean, best quarterback to ever live. And
for now,
and I think that Mahomes will certainly give him a run for his money, but it'll be a very, very difficult task. Last big storyline, the defensive battle. Will defense determine the Super Bowl champion?
Yeah, and I think so. And the saying defense wins championships, it's a lot of people roll their eyes because offense is fun to watch, but I think it's very true. I like to say defense wins championships, but offense gets you to the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
These are two of the best offenses in the league.
Put it on a tapestry somewhere.
Right? Quote me.
Motivational.
Yeah. Both of these teams' offenses got them to this point. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Tom Brady's taken Tampa Bay, Jesus Christ. Tampa Bay to another level. But they're both in this game because of their offenses, but now it's arguably the two best offenses in the league. Whose defense is going to step up, make some plays, and give their offense the ball and win the game?
As Pat McAfee says, the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers they're going to have to play well. I think that Tampa Bay's defense is much better than Kansas City's. And we'll get to our prediction for the Super Bowl, obviously, at the end of this. But like, Tampa Bay has a better chance of playing better defensively, if that makes sense. They don't have a better chance of stopping the opposing quarterback, I don't think. I think that the Chiefs will have an easier time stopping Brady than the Bucs do of stopping Mahomes. But the Bucs have a better defense. That's why the Super Bowl is amazing. So let's move on. Like, okay, I'll throw in this point. I think this is the best Super Bowl since Super Bowl 50 with the Panthers and Broncos. I mean, that is up for debate, but like you have a 15-1 Panthers squad led by the MVP Cam Newton going up against Peyton Manning in his last year. Like this is almost the exact same storyline. I bet in 2015 we were saying Cam Newton's going to be the next GOAT. And so like this Super Bowl is just awesome. This is the perfect matchup. As much as I wanted the Bills to be in it, this is the perfect matchup.
I am very excited. Yeah, there's all different kinds of storylines, but the quarterback's obviously at the forefront. And I just can't wait. I'm going to kick my feet up in Day Hall, room 626, and watch this unfold.
Hey, I'll be there. Quick fire prop bets. We're just going to rattle these off here. Super Bowl MVP right now. This is this is provided by FanDuel. Yes, this is FanDuel. So
FanDuel, if you want to sponsor us, our
FanDuel,
emails are in the description.
I watch Pat McAfee. I mean, come on. I think we could be a subsidiary. MVP. Pat Mahomes is the favorite right now at -105. Brady is +200. Then the next best odds is Tyreek Hill at +1400. Travis Kelce is at 1500. Braden, if you had, a substantial amount of bread in that bank account, which could possibly be true, who are you taking here?
It's a quarterback's award, so I don't think there's any other option to take Mahomes or Brady, and the odds show that. It's just going to essentially come down to which quarterback wins the game. I thought last year, I think Bashaud Breeland had 2 picks, but Mahomes really turned it on towards the end. And at halftime, I'm like, Bashaud Breeland's about to win Super Bowl MVP if the Chiefs can pull this off. But Mahomes came on in the second half. I think both of these quarterbacks are going to post some pretty crazy numbers. It's going to come down to who wins. And I like the Chiefs, so I think Mahomes.
Yeah, I'll go with Mahomes too. If any other position outside of quarterback wins the Super Bowl MVP, I mean, that FanDuel should just give money to people for that. Like, just bet on quarterback or anybody else. I think that'd be fantastic. Mahomes, passing yards, over under 329.5. I'm going under. I'm going under because I think that Brady and Mahomes are going to have the exact same passing numbers this week. I think
it's going to be very close. Yeah, I think it's going to be in the neighborhood of around like 275, 280, maybe as low as like a 230 for both of them. I don't think they're going to throw the lights out. I don't think it's going to be this huge air raid battle. I think the defense might get some takeaways and set the teams up inside of the opposing side's midfield, I guess is the way to put it. So maybe the yards won't entirely be there, but it'll be a passing show for sure.
Yeah, so I bet both of you, you're going to bet both quarterbacks with the under.
Yes, I think that's what I would take.
I can't see Brady throwing for 300. I really can't. No. I mean, I think he'll throw like 280. Like, I think it'll be close, but like 300 that means both defenses do not show up, and that's not the Super Bowl. So I think that they'll both go under.
Yeah, he only broke that mark, that 296 mark once this playoffs, and it was against Washington, New Orleans, and Green Bay. Highest was 280.
Yeah, but Brady did throw 3 picks against Green Bay. So if those are completions, you never know. Let's not get hypotheticals. Quarterback to throw the first interception. Mahomes +120, Brady -155. This is a coin flip and a half.
I hate to say it. I think it's going to be Mahomes. He did it last year in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I just feel like some throw over the middle. Devin White makes a great play. Picks off the hook route to Travis Kelce, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, the Bucs are going to win the game!" And then he'll come out and throw 3 straight touchdowns on 3 straight drives, and everyone will forget it.
Yeah, because they'll try some of the nonsense they always do on offense, and then Mahomes is going to get one and be like, "Oh, here we go!" And then there comes Sean Murphy bunting out of nowhere, getting the pick.
Right.
Now, here are the actual prop bets that we're most concerned with. This is from covers.com. The national anthem, over under 2 minutes. Over is +110. Under is -150. Eric Church and Jasmine, I forget the last name. It's an R&B singer, but a country singer and an R&B singer. Country's known for being a little fast-paced. Over 2 minutes, obviously. R&B is known for being slow. So I want to know what you have to say about this national anthem.
I just want to preface this by saying if you're betting on some of these, we're going to put the gambling hotline in our description. You should probably give it a ring. I don't know. That's a tough one. I shouldn't spend too much time on this, but I feel like Eric Church, that's definitely a Alabama, deep South kind of name, has a lot of respect for the national anthem. He's going to want to get it done and over with to respect it, I guess. I don't know. I take the under.
I'm going to go over because, you know, they have to have the flyover, and then they'll probably show healthcare workers on the Jumbotron, and, you know, it'll be a really nice thing, and they're not going to want to make it like a minute and a half. So I'm going over. That quote was good. That is a very good quote. I need to use that in the future. The Weeknd's first halftime song, Blinding Lights, is the favorite at plus 137. No. Pray for Me is plus 250. Yes. And Can't Feel My Face, which I completely forgot about, is at plus 300. I'm obviously going for Pray for Me. That was a song, I believe, that was in Black Panther. They can tie in some of the social justice movements with this song. They have to open with this one.
I disagree. I think In the Night. I love In the Night. It's my favorite Weeknd song. I think it's a slow start. I'm pretty sure the song starts slow, which is how the Super Bowl halftime shows normally start. Like, it's going to be a slow start, and they're going to get into like Blinding Lights and Can't Feel My Face and all those. But I think In the Night, take it to the bank. I don't know the odds. We couldn't find them, but that's the one I think.
I mean, Save Your Tears is a great song, but like that's for like emotional. Like, I don't think they're going to play sad songs.
Right.
Scared to Live, Alone Again. Like, there's good The Weeknd songs, but most of them are kind of sad. So if just do not start with Blinding Lights. Do not.
What's his face gonna look like? Did he get like facial reconstruction surgery, or is that just like a social
flash
media
it on the
stunt?
screen. I think it's a meme. It's definitely a meme.
Okay. All right.
We'll flash it on the
see.
screen here, but it's a great quality meme.
I hope that's
think
not
it's
real.
A
That
meme.
is
I don't know.
creepy.
Yeah, but anyways, our final prop bet, the Gatorade bath color. Now, I thought that this was going to be a shoe-in for red/pink. Obviously, both teams are red. Orange, I wonder if it's an homage to our school. They are the favorite right now at plus 145. Blue is a plus 675. Blue is my favorite flavor or favorite color of Gatorade.
Oh God, you would.
We're not going to get into that conversation, but I would put money down on blue being it because blue is obviously the best color.
Do the Gatorade colors have anything to do with the team's colors? Like, do you think they get red Gatorade if their team's red? I have no idea.
Well, I know my high school was red and blue, and they had blue Powerade.
Okay.
But like, that's just a generic color. Like,
right.
If you went to a high school that's like purple or green, like, please tell us in the comments because I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know if SU has orange Gatorade. If they do, it's probably nasty. But like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I also like the underdog bet here, but I think it's going to be purple. I don't know. I just have some telepathic vision of Patrick Mahomes dumping the purple Gatorade onto Andy Reid. Don't ask me why. That's just what I think it's going to be. Let's
stop with that weird conversation and let's get into the most important part of this entire show, our predictions. Braden, start with you.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten my point that I've been talking about the entire episode, if I haven't alluded to it enough, I think Kansas City is going to win this football game, and I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think 34 is the magic number for this Kansas City team, and I think Tampa Bay is going to struggle to keep up. I just don't really see Tom Brady really putting 30-plus up on Kansas City. So I'm going to go 34-21, final Chiefs victorious.
I can't believe we haven't said this yet, but we correctly predicted the Super Bowl.
We did.
Now,
you heard it here.
We had the Bucs and Packers playing in the divisional round instead of the NFC Championship, but that's just because the Rams won and like that screws up the seeding. But we had Bills Chiefs in the AFC title game, and we had the Bucs beating the Packers in Green Bay. So like ESPN hire us. I'm going to not like I don't even you know what? No. I've convinced myself. I don't even want Tampa Bay to win this. Kansas City is going to win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 31-28. And the reason why is because both of these offenses are going to be firing. But I think that at the end of the day, Kansas City is going to get in the red zone more often than Tampa Bay will. That's where that the extra 3 points comes in. Harrison Butker is a better kicker. I think that they can rely on him to drill some field goals if Tampa Bay is able to execute their defensive game plan. I don't know. I like the Chiefs in this one. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady. And there is a little part inside of me that thinks Tampa Bay can get this thing done. But I just think this is Kansas City's time to shine. Kansas City's too good. They're going to be the best team in football for the next half decade, it feels like. Maybe even decade if they're able to restructure contracts and stuff like that. There is just too many things positive for Kansas City's offense that I can't see Tampa Bay overcoming it. I mean, I was saying this with the Bills. You have to give them 3, not 7. That like they're going to score every possession. They rarely go 3 and out. I'd love to be Kansas City's punter. I think that'd be the best job on earth. But I just think that Tampa Bay is going to have a really tough time halting Kansas City. And Tampa Bay, especially early in the season, they had a struggle of scoring in their opening drive, scoring in the first half even. I think that if Kansas City is able to stifle Tampa Bay, although it is a home game per se for the Bucs, I think that Kansas City will get the job done. 31-28 final score. Kansas City, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It's not as tough as hockey going back-to-back being champions, but it's still pretty difficult, especially if you got to run through Tom Brady. Braden, any final thoughts on this Super Bowl 55?
I just think, not to get all sentimental here, I just think it's crazy that it's already the last game of the season. This entire NFL season has really flown by. I remember when this season started, and I had no idea if this regular season was going to get done and make it all through the playoffs on time, and they did. It looked murky when Tennessee had all those COVID flare-ups, but here we are.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way. Jeez, the
happens.
Bills got smacked up on a Tuesday night. Give me a break.
But there were some points this season where we didn't know if we were going to get to the end. We did, on schedule. There's going to be fans at this game, healthcare workers included. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And as soon as this game is over, we're getting in. The season never stops. We're getting into the offseason, free agency draft. That'll all be here. But I'm excited for Sunday, and I'm excited for the future.
Just as it is. Oh, hey, Sophie. My dog came up here. Come here, Soph. Come here. Want to go on the podcast? No, she doesn't. I think that, first of all, disclaimer, I'm not blaming the Tennessee Titans for getting COVID. It so happened they had to play the Bills, and the Bills lost. Anyways, I'm just a salty Bills fan, dude. I'm not going to get over it. You're right. The season is over. The in-season's over, but this offseason is going to be, it's going to need coverage. And our quarterback prediction show is already wrong. We already have 2 teams incorrect. So sick. And this draft, it could go a million different directions. The Texans could trade Deshaun Watson and get up into the top 5. There could be teams trading up into the top 10 because they think that the quarterbacks are going to get taken. It's going to be a fun offseason. And not only that, but the NHL is in full swing. The NBA will be getting towards its postseason. And baseball season, baby. The Masters. Golf is coming up, man. This is going to be...
I'm excited for that.
This is going to be a blast. So obviously stay here at the Pooch and Reed pod where we'll discuss anything and everything. This is also our last episode on Zoom. I think that this has been a great run so far online, but we are moving in 2 days to Syracuse. So we're going to try and get these shows done in person if we can, barring the craziness and the noise going on in Day Hall. We might have to go to a different venue, but nevertheless, we will be doing these in person, which will be even more fun. So
yeah,
we're only getting started here at the Pooch and Reed pod. We hope that you enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. I'll be in room 626 watching this with the boys. It's gonna be a great Super Bowl. I hope you guys all have a blast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pooch and Reed pod. Braden, I'll give you the final word here.
Chancellor Kent Savard, if you're watching this, Joe will not be in my room.
No. Well, no, I will not be. No,
just kidding. He was totally kidding. He's not going to be there.
We're zooming. But anyways, follow us on our individual Twitters and our individual Instagrams. All of that is down in the description below. We're going to try and live tweet a little bit for the Super Bowl as well. We'll give our takes during the game. If Blinding Lights plays, I think we might deactivate our Twitter account, but just follow us there and we will discuss it all. For Braden Reed, I'm Joe Puccio. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go Chiefs. Brady, you're not winning one.